Ielts Academic Reading Passage 1. Today we are going to analyze, practice, and make out the reading passage 1 and task type of questions belong to this reading passage. What is consist of, how many words we will face it with, and how we'll need to make out all of this correctly to get higher score. So, if your target is 9 band score or 8 plus, it means you're on the correct path. Let's get started then. This is the first lesson. What is the reading passage 1? A text of up to 900 words, mostly factual or descriptive. Like here it is. Why do people collect things? Here it is descriptive information. From the title, you can understand what you will read in all the tags. You will be faced with 2 different tasks with a total of 13 questions. Here it is, from questions 1 till 13 you will be faced with. The text is slightly easier than passage 2nd and 3rd. So let's go directly to the task type of question. Here it is, true, false, and not given. Let me show for you. Questions from 1 to 6. So here it is, true, false, and not given. And please do not confuse with yes, no, not given. This is absolutely different. The structure is the same, but the answers are really different. So true, false, not given tasks require you to compare information given in a series of statements. I mean in the whole passage, with some of the paragraphs, with the information in the tags, and decide if they are the same. So you have to read the statements that are in the same order as the information in the text. Then read the text to find the part that you need. Then you will need to decide if the information in each statement agrees with the text. This is true. Then contradicts the text, false, or even doesn't appear in the text. This is not given. Here it is. You do have 3 true information, 2 false information, and 1 not given. So actually, on the whole, you will be given to write more than true information rather than false and not given. So I would like to give you action plan for true, false, not given task type of questions. You need to look at the title and decide who or what the text is about. Actually, I've already read for you. Why do people collect things? So it could be maps, I don't know, it could be marks, it could be coins or something like that. Then you need to read the text very quickly to get an idea of the content and structure. And don't worry about words you don't understand. Actually, from the first paragraph and first sentence, you can understand the information already have given in the text. Then after that, look at the questions and underline the location words. Find a part of the text that is relevant actually to the first question. Read it in detail and decide if the answer is true, false, or not given. And remember to look out for synonyms and paraphrasing words. Keywords are very, very imperative. Now do the same for the other questions. So actually, first my tip is the information you need for all the questions may come from one part of the text. Once again, the information you need for all questions may come from one part of the text. It could be from one passage, from one passage and one paragraph. However, sometimes there may be paragraphs that do not relate to any of other questions. The located words in the questions will help you find the right part of the text. The next my tip is the questions are in the same order as the information in the passage. So they are the same order. And the next tip is don't use your own knowledge of the subject to answer the questions. You don't need it. Use only the information in the passage. And next tip is two or more questions following each other may have the same answer. So here it is. My advice, you need to go directly to our question. Here it is. Dr. Maria Richter believes that people become interested in collecting in early childhood. This is true information. But how it is? The located words are Dr. Maria Richter. I've already highlighted it for you. And the information you need in the first paragraph is Dr. Maria Richter. Let's go to our first paragraph of our passage. Oh, we already found that. Psychologist Dr. Maria Richter. Great. Another thing is we need to read the continuation of our statement. Believes that people become interested in collecting in early childhood. This is true information, but let me show you the way. So, Dr. Maria Richter, psychologist, argues that the urge to collect is a base human characteristic. Let's get started. Another one. According to her, to Dr. Maria Richter, in the very first years of life, people become interested in collecting in early childhood. So, in early childhood, this is the very first years of life. Then we form emotional connection with lifeless objects such as soft toys. And these positive relationships are the starting point for our fascination with collecting objects. Collecting. So here it is, we do have this, become interested in collecting. So here it is, collecting, starting point, collecting. So this is true information. According to Dr. Maria Richter, in the very first year of life, we form emotional connections with lifeless objects such as soft toys, and these relationships are the starting point for our fascination with collecting objects. Let's go forward. The next one, second one is a form of collecting may have helped some ancient humans to survive. This is true information, and I'm going to actually expand our answer. The located words here are ancient humans. You may need to read more than one sentence to find the answer. Look for synonyms and paraphrasing for survive. So, let's go to our passage. Here it is once again, first paragraph. Do not forget, you can find your locating words, your answers in the same order. So after Maria Richter, you can find your following answer. And here it is, I've already highlighted for you. The final actually sentence from our first paragraph, our passage, only by collecting sufficient food supplies to last through freezing winters or dry summers could our ancestors stay alive. Survive, I said to you, you need to find paraphrasing words. Stay alive until the weather improved. So here it is only by collecting sufficient food supplies. Here it is a form of collecting helps some ancient humans to survive, right? So here it is ancestors, ancient humans. And this is true because the text said that only by collecting sufficient food supplies, blah, 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 could our ancestors stay alive. So that's why this is true information. Let's go further. As we have already actually completed with the first paragraph of our passage, then the rest of our answers will be the following paragraphs. So, third one, Leonard Woolley expected to find the remains of a private collection at UR. So, find the located words in the question. Leonardo Woolley, UR. To answer the question, focus particularly on what the person is. Leonard Woolley. Expected to find before arriving at UR. So this is false information, not true. This is contradicting information. How is that? Let's go to our second paragraph of our passage. Here it is. You are Woolley, right? And Leonardo Woolley. Here it is. Archaeologist Leonardo Woolley had traveled to the region intending only to excavate the site of a palace, right? So, instead, to his astonishment, he dug up artifacts which appeared to belong to a 2,500-year-old museum. And here it is. Leonardo Vella expected to find the remains of a private collection at UR. You see, here it is, private collection, artifacts. So actually the text says that Woolley's plan when he traveled to UR was only to excavate the site of a palace. However, to his astonishment, he found an old museum instead. So we do have some connections and links, but it's contradicts information. Let's go further. Fourth one. Here it is. Woolley found writing that identified some of the objects he discovered. This is true information. But how is that? Once again, you need to look for synonyms and paraphrasing words like writing that identifies some of the objects and Woolley found, discovered, right? Let's go further to our second paragraph of our passage. And here it is, accompanying some of the artifacts, the descriptions like modern day labels. These texts appeared in 3 languages and were carved into pieces of clay. So, however, very little else is known about Princess Inigaldi or what her motivations were for setting up her collection. So, actually, we need to find. Here it is, accompanying some of the artifacts, right? The descriptions like modern day labels. Actually, the text states that accompanying some of the artifacts, Woolley found descriptions like modern day labels. These are referred to the text as, here it is, writing, right? So here it is, Woolley found writing that identifies some of the objects he discovered. Is that right? Yes, that's correct. Let's go further. Once again, our statement is fifth one. Princess Inigaldi established her collection to show off her wealth. Actually, I have already read for you this statement, but just for confusing information. We didn't actually know about this princess about. But now we know that because we have already highlighted this. This is the second paragraph once again. But this belongs to Princess Inigaldi. So very little else is known about Princess Inigaldi or what her motivation were for setting up her collection. Here it is actually not given information. Why is that? Because the text states that very little else is known about Princess Enigalde or what her motivations were for setting up her collection. Her motivations are not known. So hence is not given is the correct information. Nothing is known about Princess Enigalde, guys. So we have actually completed with the 2 paragraphs of the reading passage. Let's go further and it will be the following paragraph. So here it is, our final statement. Displaying artworks was the main purpose of cabinets of curiosities. This is full information. false information. Actually, what items were displayed in most cabinets of curiosities? Did one type of item have higher status than others? False information. How is that? Because the text actually, let's go to our third one. Cabinets of curiosities typically included fine paintings and drawings, but equal importance was given to exhibits from the natural world, such as animal specimens, shells, and plants. So actually, the text states that cabinets of curiosities typically included fine paintings and drawings. However, equal importance was given to exhibits from the natural world. Is that right? Yes. So this is false information. Displaying artworks was the main purpose, not the main purpose. As here it is typically included, not main purpose. So this is the final information about the true, false, not given task type of question. This is the end of the first lesson. See you on the second lesson.